You wake up at 7 a.m. and your glucose is 160, even though you ate nothing for 12 hours. Even though you went to bed at 105, that feeling of frustration hits you. You think, where did this come from? Here's what's happening. And I'm going to show you the exact 3-step fix in this video. If you live with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, you know this specific brand of frustration. You did everything right. Low-carb dinner at 6 p.m. No hidden sugars. Perfect bedtime reading. But your monitor screams 160 at sunrise. Here's the 3-step roadmap you're getting today. Step 1. The thermal shutdown using temperature. Step 2. The Glycemic Bridge, the strategic snack. Step 3. The acetic acid shield, a kitchen staple. Stick with me until the end. I'll show you how to lock all 3 together. What I'm about to reveal is the biological equivalent of a silent alarm. Exactly at 3 a.m., while you are in your deepest rest, a molecular switch flips inside your visceral organs. Your liver begins flooding your bloodstream with concentrated glucose. It's as if your body decided to release energy, as if you were eating while you slept. In this deep dive, we're going to dismantle the dawn phenomenon and the Somogyi Effect using the latest metabolic data. I will prove why your insulin, the very hormone meant to protect you, fails precisely when you need it most. And stay tuned until the end. By the final minute of this video, I'm handing you the exact 3-step nocturnal reset to physically lock your liver's floodgates before you hit the pillow. No fluff, no generic advice, just the raw clinical science of your survival. Let me ask you something before we go deep. Have you ever woken up with a dry mouth, brain fog, and a glucose reading that made no sense? Comment Dawn below if that's you. I read every comment. And your answer tells me exactly which of the 3 steps you need to prioritize. Let's get straight into the why. Why 3 a.m.? Your body runs on a 24-hour master clock called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m., your system prepares for a fight for survival, even if your only fight is getting to the office. To fuel this awakening, your brain triggers a hormonal cascade. It orders your adrenal glands to pump out cortisol and adrenaline. It also orders your pancreas to release glucagon. Now, in a metabolically flexible human, this is a beautiful symphony. The liver releases just enough glucose. The pancreas counters with a precise pulse of insulin. Levels remain stable. But in you, someone fighting the insulin resistance war, this symphony is a car crash. Your insulin is like a key that has been filed down. It no longer turns the lock. The sugar rises, but it cannot enter the mitochondria. It sits in your arteries. It oxidizes. It inflames your endothelium. It thickens your blood while you sleep. Your body senses that the cells are still starving. Why? Because the sugar is stuck in the pipes. Then it makes a mistake. It orders the liver to produce even more sugar. You are witnessing a cycle of nocturnal self-destruction. But wait, there is a distinction that most people miss. And it could be the reason you are treating your diabetes all wrong. Is your high morning sugar at dawn phenomenon or a Somogyi rebound? Here's the difference in one sentence. Dawn phenomenon is caused by hormones. Somogyi is caused by a dangerous dip in the middle of the night. If you misdiagnose this, your HbA1c will keep climbing, no matter how clean you eat. I'm going to show you how to tell the difference in exactly 2 minutes. And here's a quick test you can do tonight. Set an alarm for 2:30 a.m. Check your glucose. If it's low, below 70, you have Somogyi. If it's normal or high, you have dawn phenomenon. Write that down or screenshot this. 2 different causes, 2 different fixes. Before we deconstruct the cortisol-glucose bridge, I need to see your data. What was your highest fasting glucose reading this month? Was it 140? 180? Over 200? Type that number in the comments right now. Your numbers are the map to your recovery. Understanding these spikes is the core foundation of the Metabolic Health Protocol. I've put the link in the first line of the description. That protocol is a manual for cellular repair, the exact mineral dosages, the shopping list, the timing. Here's my promise to you. Watch the rest of this biochemistry first. The protocol will make 10 times more sense once you understand why your liver behaves this way at 3 a.m. I'll remind you about the link at the end of this video. For now, stay with me. Now, let's talk about the word that should haunt your dreams. Gluconeogenesis. This isn't just about the carbs you ate yesterday. This is your liver's ability to take proteins, literally the muscle tissue from your legs or the collagen in your skin and fats, and synthesize them into brand new glucose molecules. When your liver is in panic mode at 3 a.m., it doesn't care that your blood is already saturated with sugar. It perceives an energy crisis at the cellular level, so it begins a frantic manufacturing process. It turns your own body mass into the very sugar that is harming you. The primary driver of this is nocturnal cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but in the metabolic world, it's the insulin antagonist. It's the wall that insulin cannot jump over. If you have sleep apnea, cortisol spikes. If you are stressed about finances, cortisol spikes. Even if your bedroom is 2 degrees too warm, cortisol spikes prematurely. This spike tells your cells, reject all insulin. We need this sugar for a life or death emergency. This is why you wake up with a sugar hangover, the brain fog, the dry mouth, the crushing fatigue. You spent the night in a biological battle. But here is the most critical part of the 3 a.m. spike. While that sugar is sitting in your blood, undergoes a process called glycation. Sugar binds to your proteins. It creates advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These are like rusted shards of glass traveling through your microvessels. This is how 3 a.m. spikes lead to 7 a.m. neuropathy and 10 a.m. blurred vision. You aren't just high for a few hours. You are aging your organs at 3 times the normal rate every single night. Pause for a second and think about that. Tonight, while you sleep, your blood vessels are being sandblasted from the inside. That's not fear-mongering. That's biochemistry. So the question isn't just how do I lower it? The question is, how do I shut off the manufacturing plant? How do you tell your liver that the war is over? The answer lies in a tiny cluster of neurons in your hypothalamus and a specific mineral deficiency that 48% of you are currently suffering from. Without this mineral, your liver cannot hear the stop command. That mineral is magnesium. And we're about to go inside the cell to see why it's your liver's off switch. To solve the 3 a.m. crisis, we must go inside the cell. In a perfectly functioning metabolic system, your cells use a transport protein called GLUT4. Think of GLUT4 as the heavy-duty security team of your cells. When insulin arrives at the cell door and turns a lock, it sends a signal. The GLUT for transporters migrate to the surface. They open the gates. They usher glucose in to be burned for energy. But here is the nocturnal sabotage happening inside you. When you have chronic insulin resistance, your GLUT4 transporters become deaf to the signal. They stay anchored inside the cell. No matter how much insulin your pancreas pumps out during that 3 a.m. surge, the gates remain locked. The glucose has nowhere to go. It stays in your bloodstream, becoming toxic. Meanwhile, your mitochondria, the actual power plants of your body, are literally starving. They are surrounded by fuel they cannot touch. This is why you wake up exhausted. You didn't just sleep poorly. Your cells spent the night in a state of metabolic famine. Now let's talk about the missing master key. Clinical data shows that 48% of the population is severely deficient in magnesium. But why does this matter at 3 a.m.? Because the insulin receptor itself is a tyrosine kinase enzyme. This enzyme cannot function Without magnesium, it's like having a high-tech electronic lock on your front door, but the battery is dead. Without magnesium, the insulin receptor cannot change its shape to accept the insulin molecule. If you are deficient, your 3 a.m. spike is physically inevitable. The chemical reaction required to lower your blood sugar is broken at the atomic level. Here's a sign you might be deficient. Do you suffer from night Charlie horses, those intense leg cramps, or a twitching eyelid? These are not just annoying symptoms. They are the biochemical scream of your body for magnesium. If you have these signs, comment cramps below, and it goes deeper. We have to look at mitochondrial dysfunction. Your mitochondria are supposed to take glucose and turn it into ATP, energy. But when your nocturnal cortisol is high, it triggers a protective shutdown of mitochondrial respiration. Your body perceives a 3 a.m. cortisol surge as a sign of an external threat, a predator or a crisis. In this state, your mitochondria switch from burning mode to storage mode. They refuse to process glucose. Why? Because the body wants to keep that sugar circulating, in case you need to run for your life. You are lying in a comfortable bed, but your mitochondria think you are running from a lion. This mismatch destroys your metabolic health. Is your brain actually shrinking during these spikes? Research into type 3 diabetes, now a common term for Alzheimer's, shows that nocturnal glucose surges cause neuroinflammation that specifically targets the hippocampus. If you wake up with brain fog and a fasting glucose of 150, your brain is literally marinating in sugar while you sleep. That's not a typo. Marinating every single night. But there is a way to bypass this. A specific amino acid can silence the liver's glucose production. We are getting to that. But first, let's talk about the growth hormone paradox. Typically, growth hormone is your friend. It repairs tissue and burns fat. It peaks shortly after you fall asleep. However, growth hormone also antagonizes insulin. In a healthy body, this is balanced. But when you have a fatty liver, your liver is already leaking glucose. When the growth hormone pulse hits at midnight, it further stimulates the liver to release sugar. If your liver is congested with visceral fat, it loses the ability to respond to the stop signal from the small amount of insulin your pancreas is still making. This is hepatic insulin resistance. Your liver has become a rogue agent. It has its own agenda. It no longer listens to the brain. It no longer listens to the pancreas. It operates on a feedback loop. More sugar equals more survival. To fix the 3 a.m. spike, we have to perform a hepatic reset. We have to force the liver back into submission. And the most powerful way to do that isn't with a pill. It's by changing the chemical environment of your blood, exactly 30 minutes before your head hits the pillow. Most people focus on what they eat for breakfast, but the battle for your HbA1c is won or lost in the 4 hours before you sleep. If you have high levels of free fatty acids in your blood from a late-night healthy snack, those fats will compete with glucose to enter the cell. This is called a Randle cycle. By eating the wrong healthy food late at night, you are effectively welding the cellular doors shut right before the 3 a.m. spike hits. So, how do we break the Randle cycle? How do we provide the master key mineral and signal the mitochondria to stay in burning mode while we sleep? Finally, the 3-step protocol you've been waiting for. We have diagnosed the molecular failure. We have identified the secret saboteur mineral. Now we build your 3 a.m. defense shield. You are no longer going to be a passive observer of your blood sugar spikes. These are the interventions that turn a 160 fasting glucose into a steady, healthy 95. Step 1. The thermal shutdown. Most people don't realize that your metabolic rate and insulin sensitivity are slaves to your core body temperature. This is governed by the preoptic area of the hypothalamus. Research confirms, for your body to enter repair mode rather than survival mode, your core temperature must drop by 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit. If your sleeping environment is too warm, your body maintains a high sympathetic tone. That means your nervous system stays in fight or flight, which keeps the 3 a.m. cortisol pulse dangerously high. To trigger a thermal shutdown of the liver's glucose production, you must set your bedroom temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. But here's the advanced biohack. Take a hot bath or shower 90 minutes before bed. When you step out of that hot water into a cool room, your body undergoes vasodilation. The heat escapes through your skin. Your core temperature plummets rapidly. This rapid drop signals your brain to suppress adrenaline and cortisol. You are using physics to force your liver into a state of biochemical silence. If you wake up sweating at 3 a.m., your temperature is too high. Your liver is using that heat as a catalyst to manufacture more sugar. Step 2. The Glycemic Bridge strategy. This is where most experts get it wrong. They tell you to stop eating at 6 p.m. and fast until morning. While intermittent fasting is powerful, here's the problem. If you have severe insulin resistance or a leaky liver, a long fast can trigger the Somogyi Effect. Your blood sugar drops too low at 1 a.m. Your brain panics. It orders a massive adrenaline dump to save you. That adrenaline is what causes a 3 a.m. spike. Here's the counterintuitive fix. To prevent this, you use a bridge snack 30 minutes before bed, but it must be zero carb and high density fat. We are talking about 100 calories of macadamia nuts, or a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, or a small piece of pasture-raised butter. Why does this work? Fats do not require insulin for initial processing. They provide a slow, consistent trickle of energy to the brain. This prevents the 1 a.m. energy crisis. By providing this bridge, you're telling your liver, I have a steady fuel source. You can stand down. You are silencing the emergency alarms that lead to the morning spike. You are preventing the fire before it even starts. Here's a quick test for you. Tonight, try the bridge snack. Tomorrow morning, check your glucose. Then comment below, bridge worked or bridge didn't work. I will personally reply to the first 50 comments with a personalized adjustment. Step 3. The acetic acid shield, your gold standard. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid. Clinical trials show it improves insulin sensitivity by 34% when taken before a high-carb meal, but its most powerful use is at bedtime. Acetic acid enters the liver and inhibits an enzyme called phosphoenolpyruvate carboxykinase. This is the master enzyme that controls gluconeogenesis, the very process of making new sugar. By taking 2 tablespoons of ACV and 8 ounces of water right before sleep, you're physically blocking the liver from manufacturing sugar at 3 a.m. It's like putting a lock on the factory door. For those who cannot handle the taste, you can use capsules. Just make sure they contain at least 500 milligrams of acetic acid. This acid shield works in synergy with the thermal reset and the bridge snack. It creates a 3-layer defense that your liver cannot overcome. You are no longer fighting your biology. You are mastering it. Important safety note. If you have diagnosed gastroparesis, which is common in long-term type 2 diabetes, or severe acid reflux, or stomach ulcers, do not use ACV without consulting your doctor. The acid can worsen delayed stomach emptying. For you, use step 1 and step 2 only. They will still deliver 70% of the results. Comment NOACV below, and I'll send you a modified 2-step protocol. Finally, a bonus tip for the 2 a.m. wakers. If you wake up in the middle of the night, do not check your phone. The blue light hits the melanopsin receptors in your eyes. That sends an immediate signal to your suprachiasmatic nucleus to spike cortisol. Checking your likes or the news at 3 a.m. can add 20 to 40 milligrams per deciliter to your morning reading within minutes. If you wake up Practice box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. This activates the vagus nerve, the off switch for liver glucose production. Now, let's bring it all together with a 30-second recap. Step 1. Cool bedroom between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, plus a hot shower 90 minutes before bed. Step 2. Bridge snack, 100 calories of fat 30 minutes before bed. Step 3. ACV shield, 2 tablespoons in water right before sleep. Bonus, no phone at 3 a.m. Box breathing instead. Here's your homework tonight. Do all 3 steps. Check your fasting glucose tomorrow. Then come back to this video and comment, "Day 1 done. My reading was blank." I will reply to every single comment with your next adjustment, because this is not generic advice. Your body is unique. Your numbers tell the story. You now have the most comprehensive 3 a.m. defense plan on the internet. The science of temperature, the strategy of the bridge, the chemistry of acetic acid. But if you want the full done-for-you system, the exact mineral dosages for the glut, full reset, the complete metabolic shopping list, and the 30-day nocturnal reset calendar I use with my private clients, click the link in the first line of the description. That protocol is waiting for you. It's not a teaser. It's the full system. Go get it. In my next video, I'm going to reveal the 5 signs in your eyes that prove your insulin is finally starting to work again. If you saw floaters today, you need to watch that video. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it. I am the Metabolic Health Guide. Stay technical, stay disciplined, and I will see you in the next deep dive.